Oh, he's only gone and listened it down the little fucking car.
That jingle, of course, signifying yet another reading from Karl Pilkington's diary. As always, packed with rich insight into the man's mind. Had a late night last night because I stayed up to watch a programme about monkeys.
It's already good.
Of course you did.
It's already good.
Now, before I read on, I mean, is this not some kind of monkey news? Is this not a late return to monkey news?
Well, it's not that good.
Is it not? Whereas the other monkey news is...
Oh, chimpanzee, that's some more shit!
This is what he says. This is what he gleaned from the programme about monkeys. It sat on a bridge and wanted stuff off people to walk over the bridge.
What?
So it was acting as some kind of toll booth,
This
was
is
it?
ridiculous. No, it was a bridge in like, the jungle.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
And it's a monkey that sat on a bridge, and a lot of tourists go through the area.
No, it's a monkey who realised that if he sits there, he'll get stuff because it look like it's a cute little chimp begging.
No, but every time.
Yeah, because you give a monkey, I'm as bad as him now. If you give a chimpanzee a banana, and he starts realising that humans have things to give.
Yeah, but it's all
Squirrels
sorts of
learn that. But you don't go, you wouldn't say, went to the park, there's squirrels waiting at the gate. You have to give them a toll to go in. They're only going to give them a nuts. They come up to you every time. You fucking idiot.
Went to bed after watching it and fell asleep thinking about it on the bridge right now. It's a bit bad, really, because the monkey should work harder for its food. It made me remember the slug I saw yesterday that was eating bird poo. Nobody would ever help a slug with food like they do with ducks and monkeys. A slug's life is pretty bad. The only time they come out of their den is when it's raining.
Den.
So even their days out are depressing.
It is. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It is like, it's a horrible thing to be in it. A slug.
I love him talking about what is it like to be a slug.
No, just because like the monkey, even though it was being quite aggressive, everyone was like, oh, give it some water, and it was well like kitted out. It had like, chocolate bars, bottled water, some like, fizzy stuff, and all that.
An iPod, it was listening to Monkey News.
He could have had one if he wanted one. It was getting away with murder on that bridge. And that's just because it was furry. Yeah, if that was like a blob, like a slug, there's no way people would be that friendly towards it. And it just annoys me how you get this pecking order for, like, no matter what creature you are, favouritism. And that slug was only eating that bird poo because it wasn't being offered stuff.
If it was offered toffees or whatever.
Well, it's just sad, isn't it? It's come to that. That's where its life has come to.
Yeah, but it's not a mollusk that's down on its fucking luck.
It didn't live in a big country house,
No,
and his
but
wife left it, the kids went and started hitting the bottle.
It, and I kind of thought, and look, they do only come out in the rain, and it's depressing, and it'll probably get killed in a bit, and that was its last meal.
Last meal?
But it wouldn't prefer steak and chips, Karl. It doesn't have...
It must like a leaf or, at the end of the day, it's an insect. They love it.
It's not an insect.
Well, it's part of that gang. It's part of that... No, it's part of
that...
They
hang out together. They hang out together.
Why do you think it's part of that gang?
Because it knocks about in the woods in the same place as a spider does. But what I'm saying is they're eating boring stuff because that is what's
It's
in
not
their
boring
area.
stuff to them. They're not... I have no opinion of it at all. They take in sustenance.
No, but where you are is what you eat. When I'm in London, I'll have beans on toast for lunch. On holiday, what? Tapas? Go on, I'll have a bit. So it's whatever you eat, what's in that area.
Suzanne went off to work and I went to the shop to buy some envelopes. The shop was empty, but the fella behind the counter was on the phone and just kept talking even though he could see I was waiting. I started to count backwards from 20. When I got to 6, he hung up and served me. I won't use the shop again. Question, why count backwards from 20?
So he's thinking, what's going to happen at 1? If I start counting from 1, he's going, well, let him carry on.
What, out loud?
So, not really loud, but like, more of a mouth action, so he could see I was doing it.
Sorry, you just started miming counting backwards to a man in a shop?
He's on the phone. The shop is empty.
Yes.
I thought he'd like me custom. He could have served me and stay on the phone. Even though I don't like that, at least he's still doing what he needs to do.
I'd have said, sorry, can I just get these, please?
Yeah. Well, I stood there and I thought, it's annoying me now, my kidney's aching, and I started to get a bit of a sweat on. So I thought, right, I'm going to give him 20 seconds, and if he hasn't got off the phone, I'm leaving. And when I got to about 6, he served me. What's wrong with that? Again,
You are
giving
one
yourself...
of the strangest people.
It's just giving yourself a thing. I could have been stood there for
Free.
ages.
He's one of the strangest people who's free to walk
It's
the
about...
streets.
No, I set myself a little target, and I thought, I don't want to waste another 30 seconds in here, I'll give him 20. It worked. He served me at 6.
But it didn't work. Yeah, but did he do it because you were doing that, or did he finish his phone call?
I don't know, I was busy counting.
Looked at what's been going on in the world. There was a human head attached to a seagull's body in a jar.
Is that all it says?
This is the sort of weird stuff that goes on behind surgery doors. I doubt it ever flew because the head would have been too heavy.
Well, of course it wasn't. It didn't happen. It wasn't live.
No, but they try this stuff, don't they? That's like that programme I watched with a
Well,
monkey.
who has ever tried to put a human head on a seagull's body?
They've done loads of stuff like that. It's part of us moving on, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
I'm not going to
Carl?
get into arguing about
Well,
science
you're
because
wrong.
it's all
Don't
behind
talk
closed doors.
shit.
How do you think we can change a heart now from another body? You have to try things out. It's trial and error. All sorts of weird stuff goes on in hospitals, but we let it happen because it's to help us out in the long run, isn't it?
But what are they aiming towards when they're going to find out if you can put a head on a seagull's body? What is that? What are they want to learn, and how do they want to apply that knowledge? A new heart. It is obviously for a reason. It saves a life.
Yeah,
What is this to save money on transport? Instead of getting a bus pass, you go, can I put my head on the seagull's body? I go, well, it won't work. Well, try it.
Yeah, but there is odd things like that. Like, I saw a fish the other day, right? And honestly, it's the weirdest thing. It was just like a blob with a face. Now, I would never have said, yeah, let that swim about. I'd have killed it from day dot. I would have gone, get rid of that.
Oh, God! Under what circumstances would you have killed that from day dot?
I'm just saying, looking at it, I'd say that does not work. And it looked sad. It looked like it didn't want to be about.
Have you got her number?
Oh, God! Oh, God!
Oh, he's only gonna rain it down.
That jingle there signifying, of course, once again, another reading from the Diary of Karl Pilkington. Now, of course, for those of you who have not been keeping abreast of Karl's medical complaints, just bring us up to speed, Karl. You had to go into hospital this week because previously you'd had...
I've been in
treatment.
and out, honestly. I've been in and out of that hospital just with kidney problems, really painful and what have you. And,
He had kidney stones, alright?
No, but seriously.
Monday. I had a bit of a lie-in today because I have to get up early for my operation tomorrow. Not only have I got to have tubes shoved up my knob, but I also have to get up at 5:50. Suzanne said I could have what I want for my last dinner. It's not your last dinner, you're going for an operation.
Yeah, but you can't take things for granted these days.
Oh, for...
I had shepherd's pie and peas. Suzanne made it from scratch. As nice as it was annoying. Because making stuff from scratch means loads of pots, and it's my job to do the washing up. So much as the food was nice, there was loads of pans and that. People who get their last dinner on death row don't have to wash up. Got up at 5:55. You were supposed to be getting up at 5:50 on the other page. You were 5 minutes late getting up.
He's often late.
Often late.
No, just because I needed to have water. Before 6 o'clock, they said, don't have anything after 6.
Well, get up at 5:50 then, like you were planned to.
Don't
You're having
take
5 minutes sleeping.
Doesn't take 10 minutes to have water, though, does it?
Well, why did you say 5:50 in the first place?
Because then it tricks me head, doesn't it? Going, I had an extra 5 minutes.
Tricks me head. Because then it tricks me head.
It. Got to the hospital and had to wait in the waiting room. There was another 9 people in there waiting to be sorted. I got called in. They sat me on a bed and took all my details down. 5 minutes later I'd been knocked out. I got woke up when they were ripping a pipe out of my throat. I felt more rough this time. The doctor came to see me and said he couldn't find a stone, so I must have passed it. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, we filled your kidney with water and expanded it and there was no hiding place. I sat in the recovery room for an hour while they found me a bed. One of the fellows who was sat in the room with me this morning got wheeled in. They couldn't wake him up. All the nurses were laughing because he didn't want to wake up. I bet they were laughing at me when I was in the theatre. Someone told me they totally strip you when they're operating. I would have looked like the alien on the Boswell incident.
Boswell! Boswell!
It's quite a nice analogy if it weren't for the fact that you said Boswell.
It's
the Roswell incident. Didn't sleep much through the night because there was a 60-year-old fella shouting at the nurse about his pillows. I don't think I slept through a full hour with one thing or another going on. My bed was next to the toilet, so I kept hearing the flush.
How do they sleep in hospitals, though? They wake you up to give you fucking sleeping pills and things, don't they? How do you sleep in there? It's always hot. It's always like 90 degrees.
There's no air.
Is that to make you drink water?
I don't know what it is. There's no air. There was an old fella across from me who kept breaking wind. He didn't even try and cover it. He was just of that age where he didn't care. Just like, that's what I do. I'm in the hospital, leave me alone.
What do you mean?
Just, I don't know what was wrong with him. I talked to him because at first I felt sorry for him. I was a little bit like, he's had no visitors, no one's calling him up, so I'll talk to him. But then he got that familiar with me that he'd just be doing it whilst I'm chatting to him. Just like he's my granddad or something. It's just like, oh, that's what he does. It's like, well, I'm ill as well. Stop doing that. Honestly, unbelievable. He didn't even try and cover it with a cough. It was just like, that's...
With a cough! How would you cover it with a cough?
Just non-stop.
Got home and sat down. My pains are coming back, but the doctor said this would happen and that my insides are still in shock, so I need to take it easy. It's 9 o'clock. I'm in agony. I can't do the diary for the rest of the day.
Jesus.
So you may as well just tell us then what happened.
Right, well, yeah, after that, went back in. Suzanne just got frustrated with me because I was rolling about on the floor and she was trying to watch Arthur, right? So that was on the other night.
I thought it was when you lodger.
So,
And she said, look, if you're in pain, do something. She said,
You went and got a cold plate.
Yeah. No, use an ashtray. Plates are for liver damage.
She said, right, come on. Let's, I can't put up with this. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So we left the flat and what have you. Got in a taxi. He filled up on the way, which was annoying.
He did it.
That is cheeky.
That really, I mean, he could
On
see
the
I was
way
in
to the
pain.
hospital.
So,
Because he's not an ambulance driver.
Did you explain that to where you were going
I
to?
was in that sort of thing where you just can't be bothered. Do you know what I mean? I was in a sweat and
He
stuff.
came back with a scratch card and some barbecue.
Briquettes, yeah.
So anyway, he gets us there and he doesn't charge us, which is pretty decent.
Oh, that's alright, yeah.
So I go in and there's like, I don't know if you've been in like A&E at like
Grim, I imagine.
2:30 in the morning. It's
Oh.
just depressing. Fluorescent light doesn't help because it makes everyone look iller than they actually are. So in there was a woman who was just sat there crying. She wasn't holding onto any part of her body. She was just sat there whinging. And when you're feeling bad, you've got that going on. So you just want to tell her to shut up. There was a fella who was like moped over in a wheelchair that someone had just chucked in.
Moped over.
It looked like somebody had just sort of found him and wheeled him in.
Nurse? Who's the guy moped over?
So this gay fella came through. And,
How do you know he was gay?
just the way he was. I'm not having a go. He was a good fella. Do you know what I mean?
A doctor, you mean?
No, he was a nurse.
Right.
And he came through and just sort of went, oh, how are you? And I was like, oh, I've had better days. So he got
As
me
you
on
mentioned in the diary, I remember the first time when I came here, they said the nurse might put a tablet up my arse. I thought the chances of that happening had just increased.
Oh, Karl!
Yeah, but I would have let him do it. Honestly, I was that sort of out of it. That,
Of course you'd let him do it. He's a qualified nurse.
No, but the way I am now, say if it was just a tablet for sorting out my blood pressure, and I walked in there and he went, oh, hello. And he said, yeah, let's pop that. I'd go, hang on a minute. But what I mean is that night, I would have just let him put 3 up, honestly. It's just weird, isn't it, how your body just goes, let them get on with it, and you trust anyone, don't you? When you're in that much pain and you need
And they're a qualified nurse, yes.
They gave me some morphine, and my sort of head caved in again like last time, and then the pain went. But anyway, just turns out that I'd had a load of like blood clots in the bit from my kidney to my bladder, and that was acting as a sort of a stone again.
No, it's just,
So that's
it's just a scab, isn't it, where it's curing it? So.
No, but all the work, when they blew up the kidney 4 times its normal size, so there was no hiding place for the stone.
Yeah.
So when they did that, it caused a lot of blood. It must have ripped the sides of it and stuff. And then that blood was in the kidney, and it went down the pipe and blocked it up a little bit. And that's the pain that I had. It was sort of, had problems getting through all this thick blood that they'd caused. So, the weirdest thing that happened when I was in there, right, the morning, like, after I'd had the morphine and what have you, right, I slept pretty well. But I woke up, and you have, like, a telly for your own bed, that you're allowed to use if you pay for it, right? So the glow from that woke me up because they come on at about 7:10, and the telly's in front of your head, right? So you're getting this glow and you're going, oh, what's that now? And I looked at it, and all it had written on it is Karl received bad news about your father. Right? And I was like, is this what they do now? Because it's such a big hospital, do they just text you sort of news to your bed? And I was kind of like, like I say, it was early, it was 7:10 or whatever. Thinking, what's going on? I didn't have my mobile, Suzanne took that. And I was looking, I read it again, I thought, it might come up with more, like, what's up with him? Turns out it was just a review for Neighbours. It just tells you... It tells you what's on the telly that day. And there's some fella in Neighbours who's called Karl, whose dad went bad. So that sort of woke me up a bit. I had a bit of a shock then. It was kind of like... So I was wide awake at like 7:15 in the morning because my heart went a bit fast because I thought something had happened to my dad.
Karl, of course, has written a poem about the experience entitled My Ward.
All I've done here, I've been through I don't know what the word is, a bad experience.
Trauma.
A trauma, yeah. I've been through a load of trauma. So I'm just finishing it off with a little sort of picture for people.
Go on then.
In my ward. It's called my ward. Me, a Chinese fella, and an old bloke who looked like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Don't know what was wrong with him, but breaking wind was the symptoms. No one visited him or called him. He seemed quite lost to me. As well as wind problems, he had a colostomy. When I left, I said, see you to the old man. Turned out the other fella wasn't Chinese. He was from Japan. I never found out what was up with him. You've got a little picture there, haven't you, of me sat in my ward. I'm sat there with that fella who I didn't talk to, the old fella who had wind problems. And that's what a poem is, isn't it?
But the detail about you thought he was Chinese and he turned out to be Japanese, how is that evocative? That's just a piece of misinformation.
It's just
I like it.
I imagine a lot of people make
I
that
like
same
it, because
mistake.
you know why? It's like, he even makes digressions within his poem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, he could have gone back and erased that, but he didn't. He left that digression in, and I think that's great.
It's very honest.
Yeah. So, you've done quite a few bits there from the diary, right? The other week you were saying a diary to sort of be famous and what have you, it's got to have a big event in it. That's a big event in my life, right? Peeps did a diary that had big events in it. You said about the fire on Pudding Lane. I had a kidney stone here.
You write about puddings you've had.
So, is that as big as... Is that a proper diary thing?
It's a proper diary anyway.
I think, personally, the 5 or 6 pages you've written about your ill health are genuinely interesting, and I'm sure, in years to come, it will be an interesting evocation of the NHS in this modern age, and what it's like to be in hospital.
What other diaries are out there?
Well, a lot of them are fictional, of course, Bridget Jones and the like. There are lots of memoirs, but to
I
publish a
don't
whole
know
diary,
why.
I mean, you can
Well,
get...
the two most famous diaries, I'd have thought, was Pepys and Anne Frank.
But
Yeah.
Kenneth Williams' diaries were published after his death. Many celebrity diaries have been published. Alec Guinness, people like that.
And is that just their last year, or did they do it when they were doing a lot? Because if they're old and sort of not working well, a diary isn't that good.
Well, often the moments, prior to their passing are some of the most interesting. You see their final thoughts and final days.
Yeah, but you say different things when you're ill. When I was on that table about to go under and you're thinking this might be it, different thoughts on the world. Do you know what I mean? Different priorities.
What's the most profound thing that you thought that it was because of your illness?
Just as I went under, the last thing I said to this woman was, "Oh, you look different with that on." And
Oh, you look different with a hat on.
yeah, it was a woman who gave me the injection, and she'd been round to the bed beforehand, sort of saying, "Right, you're allergic to this. Can you eat strawberries?" And I was a bit like, "Why are you asking me that?" And she went, "Well, no, a lot of people are allergic to strawberries." And I was saying, "But is there any trace of strawberries in the stuff?" And she's like, "No, it's just that a lot of people are." And I said, "Well, no, I eat them." And then she's like, "What about fish?" And I said, "I like some, but I haven't had them all." And and then she turned to Suzanne at that point and said, "Well, do you know of anything you can't eat?" She sort of said,
like turning to the mother.
Yeah.
When the child can't answer.
but she was this woman, and she didn't have a hat on or anything. And then when I went down there, I didn't realise it was the same woman until I was lying there and she started to inject me. And I just said, "Oh, you look different with that on." And then I went out, and when I woke up, the woman sort of came round and just sort of said, "Oh, it's weird that was the last thing, like you said." And that made me think that could have been my last, like fighting on the beaches or whatever. That could have been my little thing.
You look different with a hat on, Karl Pilkington.
Oh, God.
In its own way, it is quite wise. People do look different with hats on.
I think his last words would be something like, "Can this kill you?"
Yeah. Suzanne, can you drink bleach?
Oh, chimpanzee, that has only gone and written it down.
The jingle there to announce yet another reading from Karl Pilkington's diary. When are you going to write until, Karl? What have you got? You're going to do?
I've got to do
as far as December, and then that's it.
I don't know. When does the diary end?
31st December, usually.
Yeah.
Do it the whole way there?
Typical, always the same.
Yeah, that's when I'll do it till, and then.
Why do that? Why be conformist? Why end on December? Why not end on January the 31st? Weird that you should go. Don't be constrained to what the diary says.
Me mam called me to ask me to like. Fuck me, you're right. Look, that should be. Me mam called me to ask me to look in some of the magazine shops in London for a magazine that she can't find. It's called UFO Data. I said, I ain't heard of it. She said she's seen an advert for it in one of her ghost magazines.
I love the fact that she can't even find the magazine about unidentified flying objects.
Yeah. So we get a clue.
She
there.
thinks, I think I saw something, but I don't know whether it was a magazine or not.
So we get a clue there as to why you give any credence to this crap.
Yeah, well, it's I mean,
Mama Pilkington's into the same shit.
There's a lot of space out there, isn't there?
She said that this magazine has got news story about how Aldrin (brackets astronaut) has got some evidence that aliens exist.
Yeah.
I told her that I found out today that the days are about 36 minutes longer on Mars. We chatted about how this is how they are more advanced than us. Do you mean the Martians?
Yeah, if they've got a longer day, that's more time that they're awake working on stuff.
Right, yeah, we know that makes no difference at all.
No, it does.
Think about it. Think about it.
Look, think about it. 6 o'clock here.
Yeah.
People are going, see you tomorrow. I'm going home. They'll be going, another half hour. They've got a longer day. Productive.
And that's why they're able to fly.
That's why they're whizzing around.
To fly.
It adds up, doesn't it, over the years?
Christ almighty, what drivel!
Suzanne got in from work at 11:30. I told her about the UFOs in Mars. She said she's too tired to chat. I said, does it mean aliens will be more tired than us, or do they get more sleep? I got no answer. I love it when Suzanne comes in. She never indulges
No,
you.
it scares her. Anything with ghosts and UFOs, she sort of...
It doesn't
ignores
scare her,
does
it bores
scare
her.
No, it freaks her out. Scares her.
Okay. I'm knackered today, and the face feels dry and spotty. Oh God, what's wrong with you?
It starts off moaning. The first thing he does is start moaning. He wakes up and goes, oh, fuck me, I didn't die. Oh, God.
I'm knackered today and the face feels dry and spotty. I think it's the change in water since being away. Or it could be all the... it could be all the Madeira cake I had yesterday.
I'm gonna burst.
But what's
I'm
the
gonna
Madeira
burst.
cake? The Madeira cake dries you out, does it?
Well, it's just quite fattening, isn't it? But I like it. It's one of my little pleasures.
Oh, God
Suzanne
almighty.
I went for a wander about to try and find the UFO Data magazine from Imam. I didn't know which category to look under. There were too many magazines. I noticed how on the rude magazines, the women are being pretty rude on the cover, but on the gay magazines, it's just a fella smiling, showing a bit of arse. I don't know why gay blokes would buy it. Blokes have got their own knob to look at if they like knobs. Why were you looking at the gay magazine?
No, I wasn't. It's just...
Oh, you were?
No, I
You know, you
noticed
studied them.
Yeah, because I was looking for UFO data. I don't know where they put it.
I don't think you find evidence of other worlds down men's pants. Yeah, I don't think you want to boldly go where no man has ever gone before, Karl.
I had no luck trying to find the UFO Data magazine. I will try some other shops. He writes UFO Data magazine every time. He can just put UFO mag, but
No, but it
You wanna be
reminds me.
right. You wanna
It's sort
be
of-
specific,
If I write stuff down, it means that I remember it more.
Sure.
So, still looking for it.
Got some posts from Oxfam. They're flogging animals for Africa again. They've got new animals in their catalogue now. They've got donkeys and alpacas. Donkeys 50 quid, alpacas 20 pounds. I don't know if this is a special rate or if I could get one from Imam. She's been saying, how they've been missing having a pet since they had the cat put down.
Sorry, you don't get it. If you buy that for someone, you don't get it.
Yeah, but they're not bothered where they're going.
Yes, they do. Of course they don't. They don't deliver them. It's not like they're in a warehouse wondering, thinking, I hope people buy this. They're going to put them out there. They're.
But at the end of the day, 50 quid's 50 quid, and they're not bothered. If they're sending an alpaca to Africa, and I'm saying, can you get one to London? To them, that is less hassle.
Right. Carl, that's not how it works. You can't just go and say, oh, I'll have one of them.
They're not bothered. It's for charity.
Carl, of course they are. You can't buy an alpaca for 20 quid. Christ almighty. Plus postage and packaging. They're big bastards.
Read about a pub that is getting some stick because they've stopped a horse going in. It's been the horse's regular for ages, but there's been some new owners who've taken over the pub, and they said they're serving fresh food and don't want a horse in there anymore.
Oh, God. We've got to publish this diary.
There's some dynamite stuff in here.
We've got to publish the diary. I mean, this is... Never mind, peeps. Can't we put this out next year or something with a special CD? It's amazing. You can't keep this from the world, Carl.
I met Suzanne after she finished work, and we went for a brew in another cafe.
God, Jesus.
It's always having a brew in a cafe.
It's like a sitcom.
It is. Suzanne said I look tired and fed up. I think it's because I ain't been sleeping.
Or the Madeira cake, we don't know. Always been going to every news agency in London, looking at gay magazines.
She taught me some way to breathe that will relax me. I wasn't feeling that relaxed, though, because the person behind the counter was banging about making a coffee. Noise stresses me out. I wonder if less deaf people die of stress than people with working ears do.
Oh, it's the theories. It is
such a noisy world, though, isn't it?
It is. London is noisy, very noisy.
I think just everywhere, just noise in general. They were saying how, like, every noise has been used at least 5 times or something.
What do you mean?
Because there's only so many noises in the world.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there's only so many noises.
What do you mean every noise has been used 5 times? I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means.
Because...
I don't know. I have no idea. Every noise once has been used at least 5 times.
There's only so many noises. It's like a piano, isn't there? There's only so many notes.
Yeah.
And there's only so many noises.
Right.
But because there's so much stuff, the same noises are being used again.
I don't know what that means.
By whom? Who's reusing the noise?
By whatever.
So a woodpecker when it's woodpecking?
Yeah. Some birds make noises that would sound like a Ford Escort, just because there's only so many noises that people can use.
What is he talking about?
Noises are a byproduct. Outside an instrument, noises are a byproduct. A machine, they don't go, what should we make this noise, make this machine? It makes the noise it makes when it's doing something.
But why does it make that noise? Why not pick another noise?
They don't pick the noise.
Who's picking the noise?
A printing press makes the noise because it's the sound of the thing going down.
Yeah,
you
so
know, a hammer makes that noise because that's what it does. No one's going, oh, can we make this make a different noise? No, it's a byproduct.
I know. So there's only so many noises.
I don't know what you mean.
You said the byproduct is because of something that's happening, right?
But it's the physical action, isn't it? And the way that impacts on the surrounding air. That's what how noises are manufactured. It's not a choice.
When Stevenson's rocket came and I went... I went, can you make it go... No. That's the noise it made.
I know, but then... Say like a new frog comes out.
Oh, what do you mean a new frog comes out?
They find a new type of frog, it makes a noise, and they'll go, yeah, I knew it was going to sound like that.
What are you talking about?
Because there's only so many noises. No animal comes out and makes like a weird noise, and you go, I've never heard that noise before. They go, oh, that sounds like a chicken, or it sounds like a Ford Escort, or... There's only so many noises.
What frog sounds like a Ford Escort?
Well, there can't be many, because you've used Ford Escort twice as an analogy here, so you're running out of noises. You've come up with chicken and Escort so far.
I can't explain
But the problem is, a Ford Escort sounds a bit like an Austin Allegro, so
I know, yeah, and a chicken, you're ripping off the turkey, you cunt!
Oh, he's only gonna write it down for a whole fucking year, useless.
That, of course, signifies another reading from Karl's diary. This is the last one of both 2006 and on any podcast for a while. Let's make the most of it. Let's enjoy some of the wisdom
I also think it's the last time ever he will make an entry in this diary, because you're not going to keep another one, are you?
I don't know yet. I might just get a smaller one. But I've found that since keeping a diary, I've gone out of my way to do more stuff.
Well, you say that, but...
Well, let's find out. Let's find out if that's true.
No, I have.
I read a bit in the news about people being injured while trying to cut open avocados. It's a food that ain't worth injuring yourself for. If it's a hassle to get into, leave it to the experts. I have never bought one. I have also avoided coconuts and pineapples. The amount of hassle to get into these things outweighs the joys they give.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I never bought a pair of Dr. Martin boots. Too much hassle when it's time to take them off.
Yeah, a lot of my mates used to wear them in, like, the 80s. You know, you can't just kick them off, can you? It's a big upheaval.
You've got to unlace them, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, since I found shoes with Velcro on them, brilliant. Just the way, I don't understand why laces...
Is it because you can't tie your laces?
No, I can do it, but it's wasted time.
You're so lazy. Wasted time. That gives him more time to sit around and look at insects,
How long
eating
does it
biscuits.
take to take off a pair of boots?
Well,
14
it's ridiculous.
seconds?
He can't fit his days as it is.
No, but I don't understand how some inventions sort of catch on and other things don't.
But this is what I mean. He's got too much time on his hands. Sitting round at home thinking, why are we not using Velcro more?
But there's one Velcro manufacturer going, yes! At last! He said what needed to be said.
Why don't you get it sponsored? Because you could wear a Velcro toupee. Because that would be great if we could do that. If someone could invent a little hairpiece for Karl, Velcro's the little bit of fluff he's got on the top of his head, his shiny orange-like head. Pop a little Velcro toupee on. I would love that. I would love to get him wearing a wig.
But why necessarily reduce it to a toupee? Why not some kind of carrying device? You know, he could carry goods and things around in there, sandwiches.
Yeah, he doesn't look like carrying a bag. Well, what about that? A little thing you carried around, a little Velcro thing you carried a pot on your head for your sort of like keys and trinkets and money and that.
Well, no, I've told you about that idea that's out there, but hasn't caught on as well. The tie.
Right.
The tie with loads of pockets and stuff in it.
Yeah, but you got to wear a tie.
Yeah, but that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? I've never wore a tie because I always think, what's the point? It's just hanging there in the way.
Can you imagine this image of Karl walking around in his big Velcro shoes, a tie with an apple stuffed in it, car keys, iPod?
No, but don't you think it's a good idea?
Would you wear it with a shirt and collar or just a t-shirt?
No, wear it with a shirt. That's what I'm saying. It's an invention that will smarten up the world. Now, a tie, what does a tie do exactly?
Yeah.
What does it do?
Nothing.
Right. So I'm saying make it do something.
But I'm saying don't wear it at all. Pop your keys in the trouser pocket.
No,
or
because
take a bag.
Because the world is getting more and more scruffier, isn't it? When you look
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
When you look back at, like, Victorian times and everything, everyone wore a hat. Right? They wore a tie, they wore a suit. And it was a nicer looking place to look at. When you see it on pictures, you go, what a smart world that is.
Well, you can't see cholera and things on pictures, but sure.
No, but I'm just saying it's better to try and cover it up with a bit of, you know...
Cloth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world looked nicer with more cloth. Whereas now everyone's rowing about scruffily. So what I'm saying is, if we make the tie more useful and give it a purpose, it might come back and the world will look tidier.
But a tie... its purpose is to look smart, really. Well, originally it was because we didn't have buttons, so it kept the collar up at the front. That was the invention. It was a useful invention, the tie.
Yeah,
it was called a tie. It tied together, okay? Yeah. So then, when we had buttons, that we didn't really need the tie, but it was a symbol of smartness, like saying, I've made an effort, okay? But now... that would go away. So now, you wouldn't look smart with a tie. They go, oh look, it's like a bag round his head with his apples and oranges and his keys and his sticks he's making a nest out of. So it would be scruffy. It would make the tie scruffy, so it would defeat the object. So now when you're carrying stuff round, I mean, crawling on all fours because your shopping's so heavy round your neck, they'd go, look at that scruffy fucker on all fours. Oh look, but look at his lovely head of hair. It's Velcro!
It's a hat!
Yeah, well, that's the other problem, isn't it? I can't go back to a wig now.
My theory about reading old news is right. It's less bad when you know it's old. It was a story about a weatherman who was fired yesterday for having a nude picture of himself on the internet. But that happened 2 days ago. He's probably got another job by now. So old news isn't as shocking.
Well, old news isn't news though, is it? It's olds. What are you doing? Just reading the olds?
No, but what I mean is, if someone...
Stick the video on of last week's news, I just want to catch up on the olds.
Yeah, but then it's still news. News is something that you don't know, isn't it? If someone tells
Well, that's
you
everything to you.
That's information, Carl, not news.
Yeah.
but news is information.
No,
And
the key with news is the word new.
No, I don't think it is it? It's just information, but they tell you at 10 o'clock at night. It's like, what information's gone on? Bong. Here's some information.
Yeah, that you didn't know before because you couldn't have, because it only happened today. Bong.
Yeah, but never mind that. I'll tell you in a couple of days. It doesn't matter as long as you get the same info. Bong.
Yeah, we can't call it news though because it's misleading. We'd get done. It's called olds. Bong.
Yeah, but listen to me theory. What I'm saying is that if someone in your family, you know, I don't want, it's Christmas and that, I don't want to bring the tone down, but someone dies in your family. Now, say if you're away on holiday, and they don't call you because they don't want to ruin your holiday, and you come home, and they go, Uncle Frank's dead, and you go, oh, when did that happen? And they go, 2 weeks ago. Now, because everyone else has got over it, it's not as bad for you. Because part of bad news is the way everyone's walking around moping, going, oh, have you heard the news? Frank's dead. But because everyone's got over it, time is a healer. That's what I mean about old news. It's better than new news.
But according to you, the only news that really matters is stuff that affects you. So it doesn't matter when you... there was an earthquake, when was it? Yesterday. Phew, that's alright then. Often the aftermath is worse than the actual event. 2, you only care about things that actually happen to you. So the doctor goes, you got a kidney stone. Oh, when did this happen? 2 weeks ago. Oh, that's alright then. Doesn't make sense.
No, but the world is...
You're not upset about dead Uncle Frank just because other people are upset. You'd be upset personally. Would it make any difference when they told you?
Yeah, but it is everyone else's emotions that make it worse, I think. Knocking around people who are miserable.
What about warnings? What about when they do things like smog warnings or, you know, there may be a...
I don't like it on the news when they sort of say, news just in. I think, oh, what's this? You think, oh, what's going on?
But it might be useful to know it.
Important information.
No, it just makes you panic.
What? Yeah, but sometimes knowing stuff keeps you alive.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it. It's sirens, you see, I don't like sirens, do I? I've said to you, I think it's a scary noise.
Well, it's meant to be, so you get out of the way.
No, it's not meant to be. It's a sign to get out of the way. I'd prefer it if it... Like I've said...
Hiya! Could you just move out of the way
Well, it can be
us?
anything, as long as we know... It can be a chicken noise. But as long as you know
that's
chicken
not going to freak
noise...
people out.
No, but it sort of make you smile. But you'd go, oh, best get out of the way.
You're cycling along and you hear what sounds like a giant chicken behind you.
And you smile, because you know that even though someone is burning to death, there's something clucking in my way. Do-do-do-do, whack! Do-do-do-do, whack!
Oh, that's probably a guy having a heart attack. Going to my mum and dad's today. I'll cut to the chase, Rick. They basically, we got about 4 pages while they drive to his mum and dad's.
Oh,
but
Jesus
I'll skip
Christ.
past that because it takes fucking forever. Got there, mum and dad, his mum made him some dinner. The old woman next door, brackets, whose man was a witch, just pop that in brackets. Just pop that in brackets. I think we've discussed that before, actually, the old woman whose mum was a witch.
Whose man was a witch?
Yeah.
Oh!
The old woman next door has been worrying because she keeps seeing adverts on the telly about changing to digital TV. She's saying she doesn't want wires drilled into her walls because they'll make a mess. My dad told her that it doesn't matter because it'll probably won't happen until 2012 and she'll be dead by then.
He didn't say that to her, though, did
No,
he?
he did. They've got, you know, she's old. It doesn't... She knows she's going to die. I mean, it's something we've all got in common. And he's right, isn't he? Why is she worrying about it? Maybe that's sorted it out. Put it into perspective for her. You will be dead when this happens. Don't be worrying about it. But everybody worries, don't they? You've got that little sort of hole in your head that you fill with worries. You know, everyone's got to fill that little worry hole with worries, and that's us.
Worry hole. Everyone's got to fill the worry hole with
We've got to assume
worry.
that there's a worry hole.
A worry hole.
Don't be filled with worries.
I love the fact that, you know, doctors in a million years would dig this up and go, humans used to have a worry hole.
Went to bed around midnight. Suzanne and I decided to sleep tops and tails, because it made me get a bit more room. Me dad had cut a bit off the mattress to fit it between 2 cupboards. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes just sawing off a bit of the mattress. You sort of roll to the edge, but the weight of the blankets keeps you in. This is like something from a Roald Dahl book.
No, it's just, you know, you think anything, you can sort of trim anything, can't you? And it normally works. But with a mattress, I mean, he only took off, I don't know how long that is, but he's sawn off about that much on the mattress and then has stapled it back together again.
Amazing.
And it just makes so much difference.
Of course it does, because a mattress is a very carefully designed object.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so, though, would you?
Well, you
just
would
think
if you had a
it's full of
fucking brain in
sponge.
your nut.
No, no.
Someone took his brain out of his worry hole? Oh, God.
He sawed a mattress in half. So we decided to sleep tops and tails. It just gets stranger.
So strange. Why?
He did it to make the room nicer with the cupboards on either side.
So he sawed a mattress in half.
Well, not in half.
Can you imagine how much hard it must be to saw a mattress in half? What did he use? What, a big electric saw?
Well, it must have been, yeah, because there's a lot of springs and stuff in there.
Jesus.
So what happens to the springs? They just spring out the sides.
Well, some sort of stick out a little bit, but you're not lying on top, are you? They come out the side. So it's just got a bit of gaffer tape and a staple gun.
Unbelievable.
Hey, man alive. It's like...
Does he run it as a hotel? That's unbelievable.
There are squats with better bedding arrangements.
Well, we've had a bit of a bad thing in our house about mattresses and that, because when we first bought our first flat in Salford, you know what it's like when you buy somewhere, you sort of, you haven't got any money, have you, to buy extra stuff that you need. So we'd bought a bed, right, but there's that rip-off thing with beds where you buy a bed but a mattress doesn't come with it, which I've never understood that, because it's not a bed, is it? Without that mattress it's not a bed, it's a car without an engine. You wouldn't go, there you go, well, that seems cheap, well, there's no engine in it. So we bought this like, you know, flat and what have you, and we bought the bed, and then like, oh, we haven't got a mattress. So my dad got one from Uncle Alf. No, well, from that Uncle Alf fella, because he had one in his van that he used to use now and again if he was like travelling round. He'd just kip in the back on this mattress.
Amazing.
A bloke who drove around in a van with a mattress in the back.
So
How
Uncle
terrifying.
Alf. So Uncle Alf, right? Well, tell me about Uncle Alf.
Well, you know about him, he's the one who slept in a dinghy. He's the one who...
Because his mattress was in his car.
No, yeah, why didn't he go, oh, well, Alf, where's the bed? Left it in the car again. Oh, blow up the dinghy. Blow up the dinghy. I'm not going to go out and get it. Not at this time of night.
So anyway, my dad got me his mattress, and it just stunk of diesel. And Suzanne was like, oh, I'm not happy with this. And I think she realised sort of what sort of family
She got herself
and
into.
stuff.
Wow, she landed on her feet when she got you.
So now she's always a bit touchy about, you know, mattresses and things.
Unbelievable.
Uncle Alf, of course, sadly passed away when he couldn't escape from his sinking ship.
The fire engines were too late. No one got out of the way because they were laughing so much.
The mad woman next door saw me and said, hello, Clive. You live in a nursery rhyme. The old man down the road, the old woman next door whose mum's a witch, Uncle Alf who lives in a dinghy.
This is like not a real place. It's like fucking Narnia.
It's a children's TV programme.
Unbelievable. Oh, God. Oh, just all of them there on this broken mattress trying to find the golden ticket. Oh, God. Oh, God.
The old fella down the road talked to my dad a bit. He kept bees in the back garden.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Here comes the bee man.
His Yorkie dog was knocking about when he was messing with them, and it ended up getting stung 150 times.
Oh, little bastard! What is he doing?
It's not dead, but it cost a lot to get all the stings out. I don't know why people keep dangerous pets and insects. The amount of gear he had to wear to play with them is barmy. I don't think he's playing with the bees.
He's not playing with them, is he?
Well, what is he doing then?
Well, I don't know, but I think you should get the dog the same protection.
Yeah, but that's just it, isn't it? It's like, you can't mix your pets. If you've got a snake, you don't have a mouse. Do you know what I mean? They don't get on. And it's the same with them. Don't have bees. I can't imagine one bit of enjoyment. The only thing he does is the honey. And it's like, well, how much is that to buy? It's not worth messing about wearing a big white suit just to get some honey. There's a shop down the road.
Bees are kept for a very good reason, aren't they?
What?
For honey.
Yeah, no, but like I say, you can buy honey for next to nothing.
Where do you think... What do you mean? But where does the honey come from that you buy?
Yeah, from some proper bee farm. Let them do it. All he's doing, he's not making loads of pots of honey. He's looking after himself. And the thing with honey is it doesn't go off either.
No, it doesn't, no.
So get 10 bees, get the honey made, kick them out.
But you eat the honey, that's the point.
Yeah, I know, but
it doesn't. You can't eat it and then it's still there in the jar. It's not magical. Maybe in your world,
no.
Uncle Fred had that never-ending jar of honey.
But how much honey do you eat? What I'm saying is, it's one of them things in it that you buy, and you can move into a new house, buy some honey, and when you leave that house, that honey's still in the cupboard. You don't eat that much of it. So get 10 bees, get your honey's worth.
10 bees! Imagine keeping 10 bees!
Well, just get them to do the graft. If you've got loads of bees, they're not all pulling the weight, are they? Because they'll go, well, I'm not doing any, because I'll leave it to the others.
No.
Whereas if you've got 10 bees, you know that none of them are pulling the weight if there's no honey. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not a workhouse. Bees don't knock around saying, I got a bad back.
Anyway, back to this reading from the Twits. The news covered a story about a fish that knocked about 400 million years ago. It was 33 feet long and had a jaw strong enough to eat a shark in one go. All the dangerous stuff seems to die out, and yet things that you think wouldn't stand a chance, like worms, are still here, yet they have no legs or eyes. I saw a future human in the news article the other month about the future woman. She had 3 breasts. They looked alright.
Well, no, that's not. I can't see how that's going to ever evolve.
No, well, they say about how about evolving and that. I read that there's going to be ugly people. People are starting to go ugly.
Yeah, they're still going to have bilateral symmetry, I imagine.
I don't know what that means, but
Well,
I'll tell you now, right? They're talking about like people who are just like, you know, you look at them and you go, oh, look at the state of that, right? And it'll get to a point when we're all so ugly that no one will have it away, and we're just going to die out.
Well, that's not true either. That's not true either.
That is the biggest worry.
Well, no, so
that's the world's biggest
So
worry,
as we evolve and we change, our mindset doesn't change. We're still going, I wish we looked like they did a million years ago. I don't fancy anything.
No, but look how things do change.
But why are we all going to get ugly? I don't understand.
It's just the air and stuff, isn't it? It's just
the air or the hair?
You know, the air that we breathe and stuff, and the food we eat. Everything's changing, and we're not going to look that healthy, and we're just all going to go ugly. You've only got to look at some stuff that's in the sea, and you think, look at the state of that.
What's
and that's
got to
because
do with the human evolution.
But the stuff
because
in the
they've been
sea is
around
still
longer.
propagating.
Yeah, but they've been around longer than us.
But it's still reproducing, so your theory falls down.
But they're deep down, aren't they, in the dark, so they probably can't see what they're having it away with. If they were up on the outside, they'd have died out ages ago.
Why? Because they wouldn't fancy the other stonefish or
yeah, because they're
sea
really
slug.
odd looking. I can't remember the name. I think it was a viper or something. It was just a head.
But Karl,
A fish that's just a head. It was well ugly.
Watched a programme about the twins this morning. It was filmed 16 years ago. They are mental. They did everything together, including the vacking up. Phone calls had to happen twice so they could both have the same chat, and they said the same stuff at the same time. Well weird. The bloke who I watched it with, I don't know who that is, just some homeless guys that you just invited into the
No,
flat?
just someone I've been sort of working with.
Sure, a mate of yours. He said he fantasised about having it away with a pair of twins. I don't see the point in this. If you're going to have 2 of something, I would prefer to have 2 different. Have 2 different women. If I had 2 cars, I wouldn't have the same one twice. Same rule with women. I don't even normally like buying the same pair of trainers twice in a row.
No, if you're going to have something new, make a change. It's like that fella who was going out with a woman and then left her and went out with a twin sister. Not worth it.
Not worth it!
It's not worth the upheaval, is it? Because it's exactly the same model.
I watched the final of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It was between singer Jason Donovan, singer Mylene Klass, and singer Matt out of a boy band. I had my money on Donovan, but Matt won it. I think it was because of his last task. He ate a fisheye, some grubs, a big fat insect that they have on every year, a crocodile knob, and a kangaroo anus. I feel like we've come there, Rick, to where we entered.
It was this time last year when we first started the podcast that we were talking about I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and you coined the famous phrase, I could eat a knob at night.
Yeah.
So it's full circle. It's just that the last series finished recently, and it was astounding that he ate a crocodile knob, he ate a crocodile eye, he chewed up and swallowed a kangaroo's anus, which I to be honest, I didn't know was a food stuff. Could you eat any of that?
If I had to eat any of them, it would have to be the anus.
What, really?
Yeah, more than the other stuff. I couldn't eat anything that's still alive.
No, I agree. I couldn't eat any of that. I don't know under what circumstances I'd have to go, right, that's it now, we're not going to survive, the ship isn't coming, there is nothing on this island I can eat, give me the crocodile's penis.
So it wouldn't bother me. I could eat anything. I could do almost all of the challenges on that programme, but I couldn't cope in the camp. I couldn't cope with the lack of food and the uncomfortable bed. That's all that would do my head, and I'd drive people spare, whinging and complaining.
I couldn't cope with any aspect of it except the physical challenges. I couldn't cope with sleeping with people snoring, the things crawling over you. I'm not so squeamish about that, like snakes and things, that's alright. But the eating is ridiculous. It's out of the question to eat a worm or a grub.
It doesn't concern me. I don't know why. I don't see really what the difference in it. The texture's probably the same as lots of other things.
What would hunger do to you, though, do you think? Would you think I would change? Do you think, if it really was a choice, if someone said, and I knew I would die if I didn't eat worms...
I think you would, yes. I think you'd complain and you'd whinge for a while, and you'd try and put it off, and you'd hope a ship would turn up, but when it didn't, you'd start chowing down on a bit of crocodile anus.
But then where's the rest of the crocodile?
Well, yeah, that's a good
who's
point.
been eating that? How come I've got this? You're meant to, work together as a team in bad time, and yet I'm being handed an anus. Forget it. Let me starve.